I'm feeling quite inspired already with all the inspiring stories. But then now we have a speaker who's working in the most important challenge in the world that we are facing right now. Now let us speak to Niousha Asghari, who's a sustainable designer, and she's from Iran. Let's welcome her to share her insights. Hello, Niousha. Welcome to I Am Tomorrow.
Hello. Thank you so much, Suvash. And thank you so for everyone for sharing all these amazing stories. Like they were like super amazing. So
and we do feel so happy and proud to bring all these stories to the audience right now and to the rest of the world in regular intervals. So now, can we start with your story? Could you share about your work and what you do?
Yeah. Okay, I'm Niousha Asghari. I'm a sustainable designer. I'm Iranian. And I want to share with you today about how I became a sustainable designer and what are my goals and why I think is important. Okay, I need to share my screen. Okay.
We can see your screen.
Yeah. Okay, good. So maybe some of you heard about the zero waste concept like these past years a lot, but I think I had it in my mind since I was a young girl. Like how I turn my paper waste object with the piece by piece, and I put glue and I made it piece by piece without any construction. Or I changed the old sunglasses frame to a necklace. Or I made another necklace from a part of a guardrail, it was a really sad story because it was my sister's car, and there was a rainy day. It was a rainy night actually, and I lost the control and I went to the guardrail. So the car was just spinning, and like I think I broke like around 8 guardrails. And then like after that, I found this piece on my seat, and I was like, okay, we lost the car. So let's have its memory around my neck, and you can see it now. So the thing is that what I'm trying to say is that when I'm looking at the objects, I always think like, how can I change this object to something else, or like if I can change the functionality of that, or maybe like make something to wear, or maybe make it shine. So I'm sorry. Can I? Okay, I'm a sustainable designer. It's been 3 years since I moved to France, and before I was in Iran. Life in Iran, I had two different wars in Iran. One was art, and the other one was science. One part of me always wanted to be an artist, but the other part wanted to be a brain surgeon. But it never happened because I wasn't brave enough to see blood. So I started to study science. And I got environmental engineering health school. And I really didn't know about what was it. So, but fortunately, in the courses we had at school.
Niousha, looks like you have some issue with your mic. Can you just check the connection once?
You hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So maybe I repeat from which part?
Yeah. From the brain surgeon part.
Okay. Yeah, so I wasn't brave enough to see blood, so I couldn't be a brain surgeon. So anyway, I decided to study science, and do my artistic practice in parallel. And you know, life always surprises you. And I got accepted in environmental engineering health in a university, and I really didn't know what was that program. But fortunately, in the courses, I found out that we have a lot of environmental problems around the world, and especially in Iran. So I was thinking, like, how can I creatively use my art skills and add it to my knowledge about environmental engineering. Um, so I found a school in France, the Sustainable Design School, and that's how I decided to go to France and study sustainable design. But why I wanted to study design and sustainable design, because first I knew that I have a creativity and I knew what I want to create. But the thing is that I wasn't enough educated. I wasn't educated enough to design and produce professionally. And my second reason was that I wanted to create something with a minimum impact on our planet, so I could make a little change for a better world. So going to the sustainable design school brought me a lot of opportunities. So I met people with the different cultures and points of view about design, life, and art. And also, I went to Chile on my second year, and I worked with an NGO called Fundación Basura. It means Waste Foundation. And they have a slogan. They say the trash doesn't exist. And the life in Fundación was really interesting for me, because whatever existed there was made of waste, and they changed the functionality of the objects depending on their needs. So spending time there taught me even more about the zero waste concept and the creative design that could help to achieve this concept. And I designed zero waste bags for them, and I could expanded my research in waste in food and packaging. So when I left Chile, I was like, okay, I'm gonna save the world. But yeah, that didn't happen yet. But it helped me to define my goals more precisely and find a better path to fulfill my desire and goals. So today, one of my main goals in sustainable design is to create a design with an educational perspective for the end user. Like, what I mean is that if the consumers know more and think about the sustainable lifestyle, so they demand differently, and the producers, they have to change the way that they produce and use the materials. So there are two industries that I'm really interested in, and I also work with them, is the luxury fashion industry and packaging. So today I'm going to talk about the luxury fashion industry. And the thing is that about this industry is that the way that people want to express their culture, their identity, and their values, one of the way that they express this is through the accessories and the clothes that they choose to wear. So in the fashion industry, and especially in luxury fashion, people buy products because of the history and story behind the products, and because in luxury, the luxury products touch the feelings and memories of the people, so they feel that these products are made for them, and it shows their identity. So sadly, the luxury industry is one of the most polluting industries, luxury fashion. But at the same time, it's one of the most influential leaders in creating and lifestyles. So what I want to do with this industry, and I'm doing, is that I want to take the power, art, and story of luxury values to lead the consumers to a more sustainable lifestyle, but in an indirect way. Because I don't like to tell people, yeah, you know, you don't have to buy too much clothes, or you have to buy less, or like give them the amounts of the water that they use for this production, or like how many CO2 they are producing. Because people get tired if we tell them like what they are doing is wrong. So for that, one of my ways to create a better lifestyle is changing the functionality of the materials, which I'm an expert in. So I previously did it, and I did it with a luxury fashion brand. It was an Iranian brand, and we created the products based on the materials of the previous collections. We upcycled and reused the materials, and also beside that, for giving more pleasure and feeling to the products, we also use the fabric from the customers' old clothes. So the customers instead of throwing them out, or just keeping them in their storage, they have a new cloth full of old memories. So the thing is that the consumer is making not just a personal purchase connected to their identity, but also an ethical choice directed towards environmental consciousness that evokes collective awareness and social innovation. So thank you so much, and I hope that you enjoyed this talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the talk, Niousha. Just for the audience to understand, how does one approach a sustainable design? Say I want to build a coffee shop, maybe a cafe. How do I do it sustainably?
Okay, for the cafe, first for example, if you want to make a coffee shop, so you're talking about the building, or the services you give to the customers. If it's about the building, yeah, we also had a project, but it was a really small project, about the materials or the couch that they use. They reuse the materials from other industries that sometimes they want to throw them away. They reuse them and they build their tables, the couch, and everything. Mm-hmm. But about the services, for example, if you want it to be sustainable, there are you can compost your materials, and you can grow your own plants. For example, I don't know, the fruits or the things that you use. You also can reuse your how do you say when you make coffee and the waste, you can also use it in compost, or grow for helping growing your plants. And also you can, I think in an indirect way, you can also educate your customers, how they can bring, I don't know, they can have their own mugs, or they can bring their own a container for the food if they want to take. There are a lot of opportunities, but it depends on it depends on that place or the owner, what are they able to do, and the budget actually.
If you want to suggest 5 things for our audience or people who will listen to this later, if you want to suggest 5 things they can do in their life, it might be small things also. What are the 5 things you would ask them to do? Because only small efforts will become large together.
Yeah, actually, there are a lot of small efforts that could change. We can change a lot of things. For example, I see a lot of people they talking about the packages and yeah, we have to recycle. But sometimes people think that they don't have enough time to think that, okay, this is the plastic bottle. or not even like plastic bottle, like even piece of the paper, and they just throw it in the trash. But because they don't have time like to put it in a recyclable bin, but they know that they have, but they think that, okay, like one time it doesn't change anything, or like they are too lazy that time, or they are angry about something, so they just throw it away. So I think like if for each time we just think like the impact of the, or the impact of the material that we are using, or like really feel responsible that we are doing for ourselves, like we are doing something for ourselves, is really important. So it's the first one. The second one is that I think we also need to tell each other, like if someone doing something wrong, but not like, yeah, you're doing something wrong, but maybe like we can show them what we do, or like maybe I don't know, maybe I reuse this and I made this for myself, like maybe you can do it too, or like don't throw it and reuse it. And the third thing is that, the five is too much.
How many are you?
But yeah, like another thing like is like small things, like we buy less. Like I think that always we want to have more and more, but I think sometimes we just buy more, but we don't use them. But because we see them and it looks nice or it looks interesting, we just buy them. Or another thing, it could be we can share the things that we have. Like instead of buying more, we can share the things that we have. So we can have also new things, but like then we change it and we get something else. And yeah, but in all of them, I think responsibility and feel like I care about materials and the impacts is the most important thing.
Thanks a lot, Niousha. That was an incredible talk from your side, and I hope we all do small things in our lives that in it to get into sustainable living, and hopefully at the end, all of our efforts together will make a great impact on our planet. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.